You are listening to a Sustainable World Radio podcast. Sustainable World Radio brings you in-depth interviews, news, and commentary about exciting, creative, and innovative ways of living. Produced in Santa Barbara, California, Sustainable World focuses on positive solutions to environmental challenges, solutions that adhere to the permaculture ethics, earth care, people care, fair share. Are you interested in learning more about permaculture projects around the globe, how to plant a food forest, restorative design, or ethnobotany? Then stay tuned to Sustainable World Radio. I'm Jill Cloutier. Can you just say your name and how you're involved with this event here?
My name is Cooper Woods. I'm from Colorado, and I'm part of the Fruit Tree Tour.
Can you tell me a little bit about what Common Vision is, and just tell me what you're doing here?
Well, Common Vision is a community, a nomadic community that travels around to different schools, like we're doing now. There's many other projects that fall under Common Vision. Common Vision is also a nonprofit as well, based out of Willits, California, Northern California. Right now, our main focus is the kids, elementary schools from Southern California to Northern California, and just planting fruit trees with them, and also getting them in touch with African rhythms to kind of tie it all in together as far as bringing the heartbeat and kind of telling kids, that they are connected to the earth and they are connected to the drum, and it is all one. So,
yeah, I can hear that in the background. Can you explain to our listeners what's happened here at Monte Vista Elementary School today?
Well, gosh, a lot of things have happened. We've planted quite a lot of fruit trees. Fruit trees being kind of a fun thing to have just because they bear fruit, and so the kids can really reap that harvest and really see results immediately, or when the fruit come in. And so there's drumming workshops going on, and then the kids plant trees, and then do that for about 15 minutes, and then they switch. And so everybody gets a chance to play a drum, and everybody gets a chance to plant a tree. And it's really great. The kids get their hands dirty, and it's just, it's super good for the kids. I think it's, get them out of the classroom and this kind of thing. So, yeah.
And how is the reaction? How have they reacted in the beginning and toward the end? Because I noticed in the first class that I watched, some of the kids were like, I'm not going to get my hands dirty.
Right. I think the kids really like it because they see that we put our hands in the dirt and we're totally into it, and all of a sudden they realize, oh, this is what's going on, and they see the teachers, some people that they look up to, and they're like, wow, okay, well, this is what's happening. And so they get in there and they just really live by example. We try to live by example and just be, get in there and bang on a drum, or get in there and plant a tree. And so I think that's how they kind of open up, and we start dialoguing with them and, asking them questions. What do you think, a tree needs to live? It needs water and sunlight, but what else does it need? And so we ask these kind of questions. I think that's really crucial.
Tell me how this organization started, Common Vision?
Sure. So my name is Blair Phillips, and I'm the founder of Common Vision. And about 5 years ago, I was finishing up my college degree, environmental studies at UCSC. And I was feeling that I needed a little bit more than what they were able to give me as far as hands-on experience, and also the diversification of what a sustainable system is. The programs there definitely covered a lot of the facets, but the holistic approach that I needed wasn't there. And so I decided that the best way to do that was to get out on the road and start looking for models of sustainability. And through my travels, found that there really were no models of sustainability as far as having all the different elements of what a sustainable system is in place. So from that, I decided that along with my own education, that I wanted to make this accessible to other people. And so as an organization, we started doing courses where we would take students on the buses with us and travel around to different sites, and those sites being exemplary of some or one element of sustainability, with the idea that when they got off the bus, they had a holistic picture of what sustainability is. So we've done mobile permaculture design courses where we've done that, and then our students in turn teach continuation high school students to get their design certificate. And that was kind of where the birth of Fruit Tree Tour came, because on our last year of doing that, we had 400 fruit trees donated, and we had our students and their students plant the 400 fruit trees in urban areas like Pomona, East LA, Hollywood, and Long Beach. And we said, wow, that was its own little thing right there. So then we decided next year that we were going to do a small pilot program for Fruit Tree Tour. And what we did was we planted about 80 trees at 8 different schools, and it was really awesome. It brought everyone alive. Our organization, the students, the administrators, the teachers, everyone was just really excited. And so we said, wow, that went over really well. I think we need to do this for the whole Bare Root season. And that's how we began to start transforming the schoolyard ecology, not just as far as a garden-based idea, which a lot of schools have, but now we're trying to perennialize and using that as the basis for trying to get not only students, but teachers and administrators starting to think about sustainability and what sustainability is, and ideally getting the site itself to become a physical model of sustainability. And that's one of our long-term goals, that we're hoping that we can inspire, motivate, and teach not only our students, but the teachers and administrators how we can start to develop our schools into physical models of sustainability.
How many schools are you visiting on this tour?
This tour, we have 45 schools planned. I think we've already visited about 10 or 12, including one of our favorite highlights was South Central Los Angeles. We did 2 schools where we planted about 80-some trees in each school. And we'll be doing a different school almost every school day for the rest of the tour until the Bare Root season's over. For us, we're calling that Earth Day. And, bringing this message is trying to remind the students that we're interconnected and that Earth Day is every day.
How are you guys getting around on this tour? Tell us about the buses that I saw parked.
So we travel in 2 converted school, one is a school bus and one is a coach bus. They have multiple beds, a library, media area, offices. They run off vegetable oil as well as our refrigerator truck, which we carry our 1,000 bare root fruit trees in, and all our needed food, as well as a Ford that we've converted to be a fuel truck where we do a lot of our gathering and carrying of miscellaneous vehicles. So this tour is a veggie-powered tour, all off vegetable oil that we harvest behind the backs of restaurants.
Do you just go up to a restaurant and say, do you have any used oil?
That's the gist of it. We go there and we're taking that, what is considered a waste product, and using it as a valuable resource. It reduces our fuel cost immensely. It ends up basically just costing us the price of the filters, which is very minimal, and it's a great benefit for the environment.
And so do you leave a trail of fried grease smell behind you, which is better than diesel fuel?
Definitely. When you turn the vehicle over, it varies from French fries to chicken McNuggets, something like that. Fried foods are our fuel, and
there's a lot of those in America.
Yeah. We're seeing the time being ripe. In this time, we focus on verbal communication and body language, when in reality there's another dimension of communication going on all around us, and it's in the architecture of the dwellings we live in and the architecture of the way our cities are built, and it communicates things to us. And to me, I feel like it communicates to me that the pictures, there's something a little off. For example, we make, when rain comes, we funnel all of our water out to the ocean, and then we say we're in a drought all year. So that's not sustainable. And for example, this year, obviously in Southern California, we've been getting flooded, and hopefully that's been helping some people to wake up and think about where all this water is going and how we can more efficiently use it. And that's the foundation of sustainability, is water and how it's used. And so what inspired us to do this is just seeing the need in schools that there aren't perennialized garden systems, that every year the garden is replanted, which means it's unstable. It means that it could fall apart at any time if the main facilitator is gone. When we start to perennialize, if the trees don't get care, they're still going to grow. They might not grow to the best of their ability, but they're still going to be there, and their trees are going to communicate just like our the city around us environments does, and they're going to communicate to the students, and they're going to communicate to the teachers until someone steps forward and starts taking care of them. And that's how it happened for me, and I think I speak for a lot of us, that the environment has communicated something to us, and now we're trying to get students in touch with that voice, the voice of the land.
So where are you heading after Monte Vista?
Our next school, we're actually doing a home for disabled or injured children in San Luis Obispo, and then we're going to be in Salinas working with an immigrant farming community, which is really vital to our program, in our opinion. One reason being that students or children of immigrant workers think that the work that their family is doing is not important because of pay rates and the standard of living, and we're hoping that we can come in and inspire them and remind them that our relationship with the plant world is really the basis for all life, and that it's something to be highly honored and respected, and we're hoping that we can transfer that to those students. From there we go up to Watsonville, and we'll be working with actually an at-risk continuation school. A lot of students with children, a lot of students who've been orphaned because of drug use in the family. From there, we start to work our way back into more urban environments, and some privileged, some less privileged, and just keep going up the coast. You can check out, you can follow our tour on our website, commonvision.org. There's a calendar and a map that details out every stop that we're doing.
And if a school wanted to get involved with this for next year, how would they do that? Just go to your website?
Exactly. They would contact us through commonvision.org, and we know that there's, from this tour, we're going to be having too many schools, so we're going to develop a really nice application process and really target the schools most in need, because that's what our goal is to really focus where it's most needed.
Next year it will be Common Vision Tour around the world.
Well, we are trying to create a model here that once we have something established, and this is really groundbreaking for something like that. We're trying to create a model that we can then duplicate, or not just duplicate, but multiplicate. Is that the word? And get it out so that all the states in the country can start doing this program, and ideally we can then build on our success. We want to just stabilize here in California, start small, and build on our success. And yes, food forest the world.
Are you here as part of the tour?
I'm the traveling chef. So it's my job to keep the crew fed, and I pretty much stay behind the scenes and make sure everything's dialed in the buses and that sort of thing.
Well, that's a very important job. The food looks great.
Thank you. Yeah, we're have an only vegan, organic diet, and we try and stick to local, fresh stuff as much as possible. We go to the farmers markets and get all of our produce there, and then just keep our stock of like grains and this sort of thing.
What's your name?
My name's Holly.
And here I'm walking to the African drumming. It's a group of students sitting in a circle drumming. And over here, there's a group of students planting a tree. Hi, what kind of tree are you planting over here?
Right here, what do we got? We have a white cherimoya tree we're planting here.
Have you eaten cherimoya?
Oh my gosh, I just tasted one for the first time. I'm from the north, and I tasted one 2 days ago, and they're the sweetest, greatest thing.
What, are you part of the Common Vision Tour?
Yeah, I am a part of the Common Vision Tour, the fruit tree tour. We're going to 50 different schools, and we're planting 1,000 fruit trees all through California.
And this cherimoya is one of the 1,000.
It is.
What tree are you planting over here?
Avocado, Haas.
And are you part of this tour, or are you a community member?
I'm a local community member.
What made you come out today?
It's growing trees with drumming and the good energy of what I believe in.
What about you? Are you here for the same reason?
Yeah.
It's a nice day to plant trees. What tree are you planting here?
This is an ice cream bean. Yeah.
What is it, an ice cream?
An ice cream bean. It's a leguminous nitrogen-fixing bean that, when it's properly cared for, it gets enough water. It has a flesh around the bean that's sweet and gentle.
That sounds amazing.
Yeah, it's a special one. That's why we were really excited to bring it here, because it's pretty rare, and it's once it gets going, it's really prolific. It creates a lot of abundance, and it's small. The beans are, they can be up to a foot long, but each one will have, say, like 30 beans in it that students can share.
Hi, are you part of the tour?
Yes, I am. My name is Orion. I've been with Common Vision for about 6 months now.
How's it going?
It's wonderful. Just coming out of South Central and Compton area, it's a big change to come here, but it's very wonderful to still be working with children. It's actually, today was very beautiful. This is the first time since Compton in LA that the community has really showed its presence and support and helping us to plant and all of those wonderful things.
Good luck with the rest of the tour.
Thank you so much. Have a blessed afternoon.
Hi, I'm here with Norman Beard, and can you tell us what your part in this event was today?
Well, I'm a co-chairman of the Ventura, Santa Barbara, California Rare Fruit Growers, and we tried to give them a kickstart here by donating $200 and some plants, and that's why I came down here to watch them plant the plants.
Great. And what are some of the plants that you donated?
Bananas, I grow over 50 kinds of bananas, so I donated bananas.
And how was it watching the kids and everyone plant all the trees?
Well, they're great. I'm glad to see children get so much interest while they're young, because they're going to grow up to be good citizens later on because they're involved with plants.
Definitely. Well, thanks, Norman. Any other words you want to say?
Keep smiling.
And you were drumming with the kids today, right? Can you say your name and how the day went for you?
Yeah, my name's Michael Marker. The day went fantastic. I really enjoyed the school here and the children here. The teachers went out of their way to help, and the children were real attentive. And it was really nice because the school came out of their way to bring us food and made a meal for us, which is the first school that's done that for us, and it was so delicious. And I've really enjoyed teaching the kids the drumming. It's something that's been kind of a dream of mine. I've been drumming for about 12 years. I've played for lots of different events and ceremonies and stuff like that, but nothing so fulfilling as working with the children and all the teachers and playing harvest rhythms while we're planting and harvesting.
What was the purpose? Can you just give listeners a brief synopsis on what the purpose was to drum while you plant?
Well, the rhythms that we're playing are harvest rhythms from Africa, and it's tradition in Africa to have music played while they do their work. And it really helps the work move along and gives you a rhythm of the work, and it passes the day much quicker and makes it a pleasant experience. And so in holding to the tradition of drumming or of planting and harvesting, we teach that with the music and the drumming or the planting so that everybody gets to experience that whole other world kind of vibration of how it's done in another culture and bring that cultural aspect out. And it's something that's real common in a lot of cultures around the world where they sing the music and celebrate as they're doing the work.
And have you been involved in this tour? Is this your first time, or were you involved last year?
No, this is my first tour with the people. I've known Common Vision crew, the people that are here for like 6 years, and I've been aware of their tours, and they come through, and they've went to Mexico and helped people build homes for the needy and fed the homeless, and they did a bio tour where they teach people alternative energies. This is the fruit tree tour where they're sharing music and planting trees with children. I hear they have a solar energy tour planned to spread that kind of knowledge. And the theme is just to try to show a way that we can work together at healing the earth and be in harmony with the earth, that we can make efforts that are improving the day-to-day life instead of taking away from it. And so I guess that's our biggest theme, to help with the earth and be part of the making it better part of it.
Say that a listener is hearing all this and just thinks, my God, that sounds incredible. How would they join your group? Or is it open, or how do you get involved?
Well, it's not really so much open to join. We only have 2 buses, so we're pretty full right now. But it's to support the group would be great. There's a website of commonvision.org. I guess it's www.commonvision.org. Which we're a donation group. We're only surviving on donations. Most of us have put in money out of our own pocket to help get this going. None of us are getting paid, and other than the pure enjoyment we get from working with the children. But the most help that I would ask is that they go and they plant a tree in their own yard, and that they work with their own children in their neighborhood of growing good food to share with their communities, get a community garden going with their communities, and work together at feeding each other good food and caring for the plants and caring for the planet and keeping their water clean and not spraying chemicals in the air. That's the message we're trying to get through. So the more they can do to help us work together at saving the earth, it needs our help. So
you don't have to drive around in a veggie-powered bus to do the work.
No, there are neighbors right next door that could use your help at sharing food with that you can grow in your garden together and learn to work together at growing our foods instead of just going to the store and being so distanced from the process. But get our hands with some mud under our fingernails and get on our knees and get in the earth, and that heals us. It's a great, satisfying experience to share in the planting and the growing and with the children. This is a fantastic, fulfilling, because you know that it's going to move these children for the rest of their life. It's going to make strong impression with them. So I encourage all the adults out there to reach out to their community of children that they have and go plant a seed together. Plant a tree in the park or, in your corner of your house. It'd be great. Yeah, thanks for taking the time to listen.
Can you say who you are and how you were involved with this?
Wesley Rowe, and I'm with the Santa Barbara Permaculture Network, and we got involved with it through being with hanging around Judy Sims, who came to a lot of our meetings. And Judy was watching films and observing, and we didn't realize how much observing. And then when she heard about Common Vision, she envisioned this food garden. She called it her food forest. And she said, why don't we create this? And that began the process. And what was the amazing thing was how much resources Judy can draw to her. But then we found out how much more resources are drawn through just connections in our community, through merchants, through people that prepare food. And so day by day, this grew into a real community-sponsored event where everybody was throwing in, pitching in, bringing trees. And by the end, we had more trees than we ever imagined, so that the trees can now go out to other schools. So this is pretty beautiful.
Can you describe what you see when we're looking out over this new orchard? What type of trees you see and how it looks?
Yeah, the orchard is really planted, as we call them, permaculture site-specific. So we have a lot of good sun on it, but we have partial shade in the winter. So a lot of our stone fruits, like apples and certain other fruits that like cold, we plant back against in the shade areas. And the citrus, who love the sun, we move them forward so that we can stack things. And then the neat thing over here with the bananas is that the next door neighbor has a water problem. He always seems to have too much water in his land. So he kind of just lets it go into the schoolyard. And what we've done is planted bananas to capture his water. So he's done us a real benefit by keeping watering our bananas. And so this is kind of the thinking we've done. And this orchard is it's the first layer of many layers. There'll be vines, there'll be clovers growing, flowers, there'll be kale. All during the year, there'll be different kinds of vegetables growing so that kids can wander out. And the idea is to let a lot of this stuff go to seed, so it constantly keeps reseeding and growing, so that this is like an incredible biological life here, so that birds, animals, always there's something drawn to the garden. And so with that, it strengthens the trees, because they bring in everything with them, so it's neat that way.
And why do you think it's important to have gardens and orchards and things like this in schools?
Oh, My experience with gardens, you know that too, was at the Via Esperanza juvenile hall. And both Jill and I worked there. And if you want to see the magic of gardens, and it only has to be a small garden, what it does to children. And I think the story I always tell is one day I was planting a tree with this young troubled boy who was a teenager, and he was hanging around me all the time. And so we were planting this tree one day, and we were covering it up and putting the soil in. And I said to him, you know, when you drive by here 10 years from now, just think how tall this tree will be. And then I saw his eyes change. There was such a look in his eyes that was just incredible. And that tells you why gardens are so important.
Can you say what your name is?
My name is Leo, and I've been working with biofuels for about 2 years now, and gained the official title of the onboard SVO technician about a year ago. And how I came into working with Common Vision, I've been traveling for quite some time. I actually lived in a cave 150 feet above the ocean in Hawaii, the 100-foot
Maui?
In the backyard on Maui.
Which cave?
Oh, I won't tell you which cave on the radio.
What am I looking at here?
What you're looking at is our brand new SVO system. SVO stands for straight vegetable oil. We run all the rigs on this caravan off recycled vegetable oil from the backs of restaurants.
I think I can smell something like fried foods.
Yep. You can probably smell a little bit of that. You'll really be able to smell it when we start the rig up. It'll smell distinctly like a fryer. And this is a brand new system. We worked on developing it with our friends at Organic Mechanics in Willits, which is an amazing grassroots nonprofit that's getting way deep into converting rigs to run on vegetable oil. This new system is amazing. I mean, 2 years ago we were harvesting all our vegetable oil with 5-gallon buckets and pouring it into 55-gallon drums where we heated it and then poured it through T-shirts to filter it. So, you know, this is how we were doing it originally, and nowadays we're pretty excited to roll up to a grease trap, put a hose in, flip a switch, pumps into the 150-gallon crude tank, runs automated through filters and straight to the injectors.
And how do you find the places that will give you the fuel?
The places that'll give us the fuel, it varies. Generally, Asian restaurants have the best grease, so that's generally our source. And we just go in and we talk to the restaurant owner, and you know they understand that they pay to have it removed right now by rendering companies that eventually feed it to chickens. And so they're pretty excited usually when we come and we say, you know, we'll take it for free and run our rigs for our grassroots nonprofit on it.
No idea. That's really amazing. You're doing them a favor, and then you get to run your bus on it too.
Exactly. You know, they tend to get really excited, and they start to think about getting diesel rigs themselves and running off their own fryer oil, which I'd really love to see eventually. You know, every mom-and-pop restaurant owner knowing that they could run their delivery vehicle off their fryer grease and doing it.
Is this so you attach the hose, and is that the hose right there that you attach into their oil vat or something, and then...
The hose that I would put into their oil vat is this suction hose right over here on this burley. It's actually a gear oil pump right down there under the filter elements, and it pumps into the 150-gallon crude tank back there.
So what do you call it, an SV?
SVO.
And what does that stand for? Do you know?
That stands for straight vegetable oil, as opposed to biodiesel. And one of the major reasons we run SVO instead of biodiesel is that the methanol content in biodiesel has a tendency to melt rubber parts. And, you know, if you have a car made after 1992, it's all equipped with Viton hosing instead of rubber. But if you don't, then you have to go through and change all your hosing and all your fuel O-rings and things like this to Viton so that you're not just melting.
So interesting. So you were like an oily mechanic, but oil in a different sort.
Yeah, I actually didn't know anything about mechanics when I got into working with straight vegetable oil. And everything, I really appreciate that everything I've learned about mechanics is through vegetable oil. So it's through an alternative fuel, and it's through like a fully different mindset about engines and about things like this, because, you know, when it has such a paradigm shift when you stop running on petroleum fuel and start gathering your own fuel. You know, it manifests in such simple ways as, you know, you no longer stop at the gas station at 1 in the morning. So when you're hungry at 1 in the morning, you no longer stop at the gas station, fill your tank, and eat a Snickers bar. You know, instead of
we've all done
bar, you had the time earlier that day to go to the co-op, or the money to go to the co-op, because you didn't spend it on petroleum fuel, and you know you have your organic chocolate bar right there to eat.
Is there any significance to the VW van, top of the VW van, like sentimental value on top of the bus?
I lived in it for 9 months. It was my partner and I's bedroom for 9 months. It really the function of that van is it allows a space, with buses being such small spaces and such communal spaces, that it allows a space for couples to live. We're actually in about 2 months, when this tour ends, we're going to put a whole full-size school bus on top of this bus. Yeah, and put 2 bedrooms in it. And then I'm going to put vaulted ceilings over my bed so I can get up in the morning and do yoga in the bus.
So that's like the penthouse up there.
Yeah, it's pretty nice up there, although, I couldn't sit up in bed when I lived up there, which started to get to me after about 6 months. And I kept saying, I'm going to get a bus. I'm going to get us another bus, and then I'm going to be able to sit up in bed. And now I got another bus, and I can sit up in bed. How great.
Do you have anything else you want to add?
I think that's it.
You guys are ready to roll, huh? Bye, you guys.
Thank you.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you. This is the sound of a veggie-powered school bus. What do you think that smell, what does it remind you of coming out of the back of the bus?
French fries, I love them.
It's a hint of donuts?
Yeah, hint of donuts. Sounds like a jet ready to take off. Oh, you can smell it. So good.
You've been listening to a Sustainable World Radio podcast. For more information or to hear our other podcasts or interviews, visit www.sustainableworldradio.com. Sustainable World Radio is produced by Jill Cloutier. Music by Dana Lyons. Thanks for listening.